Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome into the building. Welcome into the building. Welcome into the building. Okay. It's Wednesday. It's September 24th, which is crazy. Hey, Lindsay, I see you out there. Listen, if y'all coming in the building, just do the diva a favor. Hit the like button. That's all I ask. Hit the like button. So it's Wednesday. It's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. The title is called Interesting. Just interesting, okay? So Diddy cellmates show support. You know, he got about 70 friends, family, ex co-workers, people that work for him to write the judge a letter, just giving like a character witness to say, listen, I know you saw one side of Diddy, but we know another side of Diddy. Please be lenient on him when it comes time for this sentencing. So he got his people to write letters. Now some of the cellmates, they writing letters. He apparently did a 6-week class while he was behind bars, taught the people something. I don't know if he taught them music. I don't know if he taught them entrepreneurship. I don't know what he taught them, but he taught some things from behind bars. And the cellmates, they writing letters. Talking about if this wasn't for this class saved my life. It was a good class. Asking the judge to be lenient on Diddy. We're going to talk about it. It's interesting, you know, that I guess, you know, he's being a model citizen out there in the Metropolitan Detention Center. And you know what I thought about something last night? You know, stuff just comes to me every now and then. And it came to me. If that Ghislaine Maxwell was able to leave a maximum security prison and get a step down to what they call in a country club prison, while Diddy was awaiting his sentence, even if the judge felt like, oh, I can't set you free, he should at least change the prison that he was in. Prison, jail, I don't know. Don't ask me to determine between the two, because I'm never going to go to any one of them. But the judge should have allowed him to go to some cushy place while he await his sentence. That Ghislaine Maxwell, she was accused of grooming the girls too. She was accused of touching the girls too. And she was giving classes on how the girls needed to please the men. But now she's in the place where she crocheting, knitting, doing yoga, Pilates, eating chicken and biscuits. But I digress. We're going to carry on. We're going to talk about his cellmates showing support. Then we got Justin Bieber's mom. You know, we often talk about over here how when an adult is going through a meltdown, it is but so much you can do as their friend, family member, their spouse, or whoever. You can't force an adult to get help. So Justin Bieber, we can, you know, act like we don't see it, but unfortunately, he's spiraling out of control. And we're seeing it right before our eyes. So is Britney Spears, but they saying that Britney Spears is refusing help. So she in that mansion solo, dancing naked, driving herself crazy, dancing with knives and do whatever else she's doing, and no one can help her. And then we got Justin Bieber. He got a wife, but again, with the wife, it's but so much she can do. That she go to the courts and fight to say, I need to commit my husband into some type of program. And if I were her, I would. But I'm not judging her because I don't know what she's going through behind those closed doors. But in the meantime, Justin Bieber's mother, she puts a plea on Facebook, praying to God that she restore him, that he restores him, helps him, and that everything he lost, he gets back. And she's not talking financially. She's talking about mentally and physically. A mother's cry. God, one of, you know, parents, it ain't easy being a parent. Because, you know, you get through raising them to 18, and then 18 and above, you still got to worry about them. So I feel for her as a mother. Because she has to sit by and watch her baby boy just spiral out of control. It's sad. And then the last story, this whole thing with this singer David and the young lady Celeste, may she rest in peace. You know, so a neighbor in the neighborhood, the house that he was renting, that he has since broke the lease and moved out of, to where, I don't know. She said that Celeste and David were living together. She saw them often. They also said that Celeste didn't have the best home life. She ran away a lot. And that could be perhaps why the parents didn't want to talk too much or alert the police or do whatever, even though they did have a missing flyout for her. Then they took it down. You know, I know the parents, they're in mourning. But I feel like we need to have them answer some more questions too. What was going on in your household? We ain't judging right now, but we want to ask some questions. What was going on in your household? And we know the cops brought her back after she ran away, brought her back to the house several times. But this story is so convoluted. It's just a mess. But to know that these two were perhaps living together. And let me say this, since I guess none of the men are stepping up and giving these men a public service announcement, the diva's going to have to do it. Whether you want to call me auntie, grandma, I really don't care. But I guess I got to give the public service announcement to these men, these young men, and some of these grown men too. Thank you, Miss Amy. Here go my public service announcement. You can't tell me that even if a girl is lying about her age, if the girl comes to you and she's 13 and she said, oh, I'm 18. If you don't know by having a general conversation with this child after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, matter of fact, I'll give you 30 minutes of speaking to them that they're younger than they say they are, then you're hopeful and you need help too. I don't care what ID they show you. The conversation with a child is way different than a conversation with an adult. The way they talk, the way they walk, the way they handle themselves. And it gets tricky all the time when you have an adult, because in the world, once you turn 18, you're considered an adult, period. So it's really tricky when the adult is 18, 19, 20, and the child is 13. Because if the person was 20 and the other person was 25, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when you got 13 and 18, it's problematic. So I don't know who David's parents are and where they're at. I don't know if he had any guidance and direction. I saw one interview where he claimed the internet was his that's where he grew up, on the internet. All I could say is this young lady living with him, you can't, they were sleeping together. We could just put 1 + 1 = 2. Who knows if she was using any protection or if he was using any protection. This is just, it's sad. And I hope this doesn't turn out to be like one of those stories where we're just never going to get to know what happened to Celeste. It's too many of these stories that go around where the girl got missing or the girl is unalive and nobody knows what happened, but the last person that see her act like they don't know. No, we need to know what happened to Celeste. May she continue to rest in peace. I hope her parents are now able to have a proper burial. But if the police didn't bring David in for questioning, I think they just need to go ahead and do it right now. And the detective need to just straight out ask him. But he probably lawyered up. If he's smart, he lawyered up. But the detective need to straight up ask him, did you unalive Celeste? We're going to talk about it. Living together. My child, but it was just me. And no, I ain't nobody's perfect parent. And I didn't write the book, and I don't have no blueprint on how to raise your kid. But my kid didn't do no sleepovers and wasn't spending the night at nobody's house because I don't think it's necessary. These sleepovers is not the same like it was back in the day. These sleepovers are problematic. And I tried to get an update on that story where the grandmother had all the grandkids, cousins at the house, and then the 12-year-old unalived the 8-year-old cousin. I can't find no more details on that story. I can't find that somebody got locked up. I can't find nothing. I'm going to keep digging. What I also can't find no update on is baby Emmanuel. Can't find no update. Another story where it doesn't have an update yet is the cheerleader who baby was in the closet. But listen, y'all, I done talked enough. I ran my mouth. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to bring the people on in the building so we can have a discussion. So what do I need in the chat? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night, trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Interesting. Diddy's cellmate shows support. Justin Bieber's mom is crying out, and Celeste lived with David, according to a neighbor who did not want to say their name. And I understand why. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, in my opinion. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Bieber. Choo-choo.
Hey, Wayne. Katrina, your camera's on, boo. I know you don't usually have it on, so turn it off and then I can bring you up. There you go. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Callie.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, right. Hey. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and get into this story. Let's start with Justin Bieber. Mental illness is real. Substance abuse, in my opinion, I feel it's a disease. You know, if anybody's ever been a sugarhead, like you like sweets, cakes, cookie, candy, you like your sugar in your tea and your coffee, whatever the case may be. If you ever tried to wean yourself off of sugar, it's not an easy task. So I always tell people often, when you try to think about somebody that is on drugs and just think, oh, it's so easy or whatever the case may be, just think of anything that you ever tried to quit and how before you knew it, you turn right back to that thing. It's no different with substances. Have you ever tell yourself, I'm about to go to the gym, the New Year's coming, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks later, you back down to your same old habits again. So I really do feel that substance abuse is a disease. I'm feeling for Justin Bieber, and I'm feeling his mom, and I understand, because listen, just like they couldn't save Whitney Houston, people have to want to save themselves. So Justin Bieber's mom, Patty Millette, posts prayer for him. Heal every wound in his heart, mind, and body, she wrote. Bieber recently wore a Pray For Me shirt in a video of him and wife Haley at the Coachella grounds as he gears up to headline the festival in 2026. Justin Bieber's mom is looking out for him. The Love Yourself singer wore a Prayer For Me shirt in footage shared on September 2022 of him with wife Haley and son Jack at Coachella grounds as he gears up to headline in the festival for 2026. Hold on one second, guys. The same day, his mom, Patty, shared a prayer for her son on Instagram. We're cheering you on and praying for you always, Justin, began Patty's post. shared alongside images of him in the Pray For Me shirt. That is them in better days. I declare freedom, strength, clarity, and healing over you, Justin. Every chain of fear, confusion, heaviness, and pain be broken in Jesus' name. Wrote the 50-year-old mom who shares Justin with ex Jeremy Bieber. Holy Spirit, surround him with truth, light, and protection. Heal every wound in his heart, mind, and body, seen and unseen. Restore what's been stolen and cover him in wholeness. Patty continued, fill him to overflowing with your love and comfort. Continue to raise him up as a voice of your kingdom, unshaken and fire for you, Lord. Silence every voice that doesn't come from you, and let his life be a bold witness of your power, love, healing, grace. Say amen if you agree. On September 15, Justin was announced as one of the 2026 Coachella headliners alongside Sabrina Carpenter, Karol G, and Enima. Since then, he shared many Instagram posts of fans celebrating the upcoming festival, as well as his latest album, Swag 2, and updates on Skylark brand. Sky Earth brand. He also posted several screenshots of texts focused on looking to religion in order to cope with ego and fame. Jesus teaches that our effort is simply a response to being gifted life and forgiveness, wrote Justin on September 20th. Jesus becomes the prize and growth becomes something you desire because of the grace we have received, he continued. In addition to the footage of himself, Haley and Jack, the Grammy winner, also wore the Pray For Me shirt in his latest music video for Swag 2 track, Speed Demon, also filmed at the Coachella grounds. Swag 2 was released on September 5th and served as a follow-up to Swag, which dropped in July. Now, let me just, let me click out of here. I'll just go to his mother's Instagram real quick. This is his mother's Instagram. I can't, because the music plays on this, on some of it. Oh, shoot. Sorry, 1 second. Let me go back to it. The music plays on some of this, but there is what she wrote, her prayer to him. And, you know, so many people are just rooting for him. And I don't want to go through this because I think some of it has music, but she did put a carousel of pictures of him there. That's him in his Pray For Me t-shirt. It's just, you know, it's sad. It's sad. And he's a far cry from what he used to look like. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So first of all, as a mom myself, no mom wants to see their child struggling and they can't get to them. So my heart breaks for her. But like a lot of this comes from him being in the music industry way too young. The entertainment industry has broken kids that joined way too young and didn't have the right people around them to protect them. Along with that, they use these substances as to feel them or to cover a void that they feel. And these substances are not for a void to be filled. It's never that. It's just to get you hooked. And the more you take it, the more your body gets used to it. So then you got to take more and then more and then more until the person doesn't even know who they are themselves. So I'm going to pray that God comes in and touches his heart, his soul, and that he doesn't have the feeling for it anymore. Because that's what he needs. He needs somebody to pray over him and to take that feeling away that he needs this because he doesn't.
I appreciate you. Thank you, in my opinion. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a beautiful prayer that his mother, had written.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see young people like him and what is coming out of them now that they went through when they was younger. Nobody knows things they probably kept in them, and now it's coming out. Because, you never heard anything about Justin Bieber, too much about him other than, a little heartthrob and all that stuff, But nobody know the aches and pains that he lives with. And now it's coming out, and it's so unfortunate to see that it's coming out like that. It's almost like, you're seeing destruction right in front of you, Hopefully young people will look at this and learn from it. This is what can happen. And I agree with opinion. When you're introduced to in the music industry at too early of an age without proper supervision, this is what happens. That's it.
Thank you. Kelly, your thoughts?
I just want to say, first of all, I love Justin Bieber, love the album, have been a big fan of his music, and I'm surprised that he was able to transition and have this longer career, because he used to be this kind of annoying little kid where they played the song a little too much and you wanted him to go away, to actually being still a top 5 pop artist, a superstar. However, I have noticed the difference in his appearance as well, and he does not look well. He clearly is not well. Sometimes it's a chemical reaction and not trauma that causes people to be addicts. And if I am remembering correctly, I think him and his father used to party together. And it wouldn't surprise me if his father is also an addict.
I know your mother was.
Okay. So it's like, because I kind of feel like we have invented this trauma that may or may not exist, and this is probably genetic and not trauma. Looking at Charlie Sheen's documentary, Charlie Sheen had a loving father, loved him to the end of this earth. His father would do anything for him. But his father also had substance issues. It did not get as bad as it got with Charlie, because Charlie, he said it himself, every time he would go off the deep end with the substances, something good would happen in his life. So his brain started connecting the two, like, oh, you go on a binge, you get a new TV show. You go on a binge, you get this big contract. You go on a binge, you meet this pretty girl and you marry her. You go on a binge, you have another kid. It was like every time he went on the binge, something good would happen. So he kept going on these binges.
Yeah.
But I will say that if Charlie Sheen was able to get off of it, there's hope for anyone. And I really hope that he is able to kick this. Sometimes it can be a little hard with people that are very religious because they think they can pray things away. And sometimes they need other types of therapy that they're not open to because, they want to go to church. I'm not putting religion down or whatever, but I've seen this happen with other people that have substance issues that are very into church. They're not getting real help. They're just going to church. And I have noticed with Justin Bieber over the years, there has been this sort of, weird thing with him going to these weird churches around LA. So I don't think that's helping either. Maybe Charlie Sheen should call him. It might be inspiring to him. Yeah, because I think Clint Eastwood called up Charlie Sheen and he said that helped him a lot. So maybe if there's some person that has been successful in the industry that he kind of looks up to, that has also been able to beat substance issues, that might get through to him more so than his parents that sound like they have their own issues. Yeah. But I don't blame the industry, because I personally know people that grew up in the industry and they're perfectly fine, doing better than me. It's the parents. It's not the industry, it's the parents.
It could be a mixture of a perfect storm of a lot of things, but it's definitely sad. 48, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, panel and chat. I actually started like praying for Justin Bieber when I heard his song Lonely. Have you ever heard that?
And maybe I heard it but didn't really pay attention to the lyrics.
I would recommend everyone to just go listen to it on any kind of music platform.
Mm,
And it kind of brought me, before I even knew, like heard about the story, just him crying. He wasn't literally crying, but the crying out that he was doing in that song, it moved me. So
mm,
I'm kind of happy that his mom is standing, on her faith and coming out and asking, everyone to pray for him.
mm,
And just so Justin knows, like, there is no perfect Christian, there is no perfect walk. The only thing that he can do is try to be better and remove himself from situations that like make him relapse or something like that. But I don't think that he should stop pursuing um his faith and trying to get better. And I think it was a beautiful thing that his mom did. But if you haven't heard the song Lonely, it encompasses everything this young man felt. And it's really sad.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm coming to you, Katrina. Of course, I can't play the song, but it looked like, I don't know if I got the lyrics here. Let's see if I
Just
do.
read some of them, Diva. It's beautiful but sad.
Yeah. So Lonely is Justin Bieber's second single, the first one being Holy, following the release of this 2020 album. So I guess it's from 2020. I don't know if this is it. Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like looking in a mirror, trying to study yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older, it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. Um, Hold on. What if you had it all but nobody to call? Maybe then you know me, because I've had everything but no one's listening, and that's just effing lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely. Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass, and maybe that's the price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And nobody saw me sick, and it felt like no one gave a, you know what? They criticized the thing I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all but nobody to call? Maybe you know me, because I had everything but no one's listening, and that's just effing lonely. Mm. I feel for celebrities. Katrina, you talk and then I'll say my thoughts.
All the peace and all the calmness that he needs. And well, maybe his mom's on there. She got a prayer out there and whatsoever. But maybe if you wouldn't have gave your son some type of substance that he got arrested later on that night, maybe he wouldn't be in this predicament. And I'm not saying that everybody get hooked up one time, but one time that's all it takes for some people because maybe they have an addictive personality, especially if the parents is using substances. It gets hereditary. But by her giving him something so he can perform, and later on that night he get locked up because he was racing his car down the street on Hollywood Boulevard. Um, Maybe she should go back to that. And I'm not saying she got him hooked on this. I'm just saying there's no way I give my child no substances just so he can go on stage and perform because he's nervous. That's ridiculous and sad. But I hope Justin gives a lot of help, and I love his song Holy. But yes, parents, we just got to and see and watch what we do with our kids and for our kids. And don't begin your kids none of them substances because you already going down that path. Why would you want your child to suffer as well? Because it's a lot of suffering and loneliness when you get on those things. I mean, everybody got a vice in life, but you just got to pick the right one. That's all I got.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, when it comes to people that are addicted, their common sense and their thought process is altered, right? Let's be clear. I love, and to this day, still listen to Whitney Houston music. But the train wreck that her daughter became is a result of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. It's no way around it. And unfortunately, I want to say Bobby Brown's son that passed too, because I think his son from, one of his other relationships passed away. It's because they grew up watching their parents do these substances. So I don't know if on purpose she gave it to them. I just know that, it's very unfortunate that addicts, their thought process and their mindset is totally off. And that's why she's probably trying to make atonement now and saying that she's praying for him. As parents, we all make mistakes. It's just that our mistakes, some of our mistakes with our children are detrimental to them and their health. And other mistakes, we get to move on and move past. And when you're drinking, smoking, and carrying on around your kids, what do you think's going to become of them? So I don't know. I feel for her as a parent because she might be living in some guilt. I feel for him because, addiction is a beast. It will forever call your name. And you do need to go in some programs. And Callie, I'm one of those because, I go to church. I love the church, all of that. But I'm also a believer of, God made doctors for a reason and rehab programs. But I do know some people that think all I'm going to do is pray and that's it. And for some people that works. But I think in life, you always got to figure out what is the best course of action for you. What worked for Katrina may not work for me. What worked for me may not work for Katrina. You got to find the perfect fit for yourself. I'm wishing him the best. I'm wishing the mom the best too. And the dad, because if they were, on substances. And the other piece of it, the hard part about childhood fame is when you have, and I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can, when you have broke parents and then their child becomes something and they didn't know how to deal with money, and then maybe they're using the kid's money and the kid is their way out of the hood or their way out of poverty, that's a burden too. You ever have a family member where anytime there's a crisis, they call Uncle so-and-so because he has the money? Don't y'all think Uncle so-and-so get tired of being the one that have to give the money for everything? But that's a whole nother story for another day. It's like the one person in the family, if they're the first one to figure out their life financially and start their generational wealth, every time there's a crisis, that person gets the phone call. And that's not fair either. But I'm going to move forward into this next story, but definitely wishing, Justin Bieber all the best because he's spiraling out of control. Wishing Kanye West all the best, spiraling out of control. And at the end of the day, they're both fathers. They're brothers, cousins, uncles. There's something. And it's always sad to me to see someone not live their full potential in their life, to be taken out either by someone unaliving them or, some substance taking them down. It's just super sad. Okay, that's right, 48. Prayers up. Let me go ahead and move into this next story. This Celeste story, I don't know. There's some stories that it just really continues to bother me. And this particular one bothers me a lot. I don't know. To me, this is a diva thought. You don't constantly hang out in a bar if you don't, if you're not a drinker. Like, that's not where the people gonna find you, right? To me, you don't create this dark music and these dark videos, and you don't always have darkness if you're not a dark person. But that's the diva thought. I just, sometimes 1 and 1 equals 2. And so to know that this young girl was living with him is so problematic to me. To know that his thought process was off, to not think that this was a problem for him is crazy. And at the time they found her, she was only 15, right? She would have been 15. I think they said her birthday would have been whatever, a few days before, whatever. So at the very least, and he's 20. So at the very least, you're still talking a 3-year window. That's a long time before that girl was even be legal to be with you the way that she was. So how did he think that this thing was okay? And I don't know, I'm not saying he did anything to her, but how did you even think it was okay to be around this girl, living with this girl this way? Is insane to me. So let me go ahead and let's share screen and get into how this neighbor is saying that, you know, she often saw them together. Let's go here. So victim sighting. Teens who the decomposing body was found in the back of David's Tesla lived with singer in weeks before death, the neighbors said. They also had a video, and they did not confirm if this video was her. He had a concert, I want to say, in Maryland on August the 24th of this year, and they have some footage that looks like someone that appeared to be Celeste in the balcony listening to said concert. And if that was her, that would at least back us up to say that 1 month ago, exactly today, you know, she was alive. So I don't know, but the girl in the video looked very close to Celeste. A huge update in the case came on Tuesday evening. The 15-year-old girl found dead in the trunk of singer David's car was living with him at his rented Hollywood Hills home, a neighbor has claimed. Celeste Rivers went missing from her mom's home more than a year ago and is believed to have been with the singer, real name David Anthony Burke, until her decomposing body was found in his Tesla trunk earlier this month. Rivers' remains were found on September 8th in the black Tesla registered to David 20 after it was taken to a Hollywood tow yard. The LAPD has now launched a homicide investigation, and David has not been arrested or charged. He is said to be cooperating with authorities and have not commented on Celeste's death. Following the grim discovery, a vigil was held for Celeste in Lake Elsinore, California, where her family lives. Her body was released to the family on Tuesday evening. Little is known about the nature of her relationship with David, but her brother Matthew told the media that they were they were aware the pair was dating before she went missing. A source told U.S. Sun she had on occasion returned to the family home, only to disappear again. Photos and videos have emerged on social media and Reddit appearing to showing David with Rivers, including live streams to fans where a girl who resembled her is seen in a hooded top and glasses. The U.S. Sun learned David was living at a Hollywood Hills home being rented by his manager at Interscope Records, John Marshall, who has not commented on Celeste's death. Sources claim the singer had been residing at the lavish 4-bedroom property since February 2024, which was searched by LAPD homicide detectives on September the 18th. Officers were photographed leaving a $20,000 a month home carrying evidence bags following the discovery of the teen's body. An immediate neighbor has now claimed in a chat with the U.S. Sun that he saw the singer and Celeste all the time and believed they lived together at the home. The resident, who wishes not to be named, said he returned to Los Angeles from a trip this week and was stunned to learn of the news. I just got here like yesterday, he said on Wednesday. They were pretty quiet. I never saw police there and didn't hear them partying or anything. Nothing wild. I was shocked to find out what happened. I didn't know he was a singer, but I knew he had a Tesla as it was always parked outside. He was with the girl regularly, all the time, he said, recognizing Celeste from photographs. I saw them a couple of months ago. I'm not sure, but I thought they were just kids, like a couple age 18, 19. I had no idea. It's crazy. I'd be in my car and we acknowledge each other, say hi. That was about it. When they were headed to the store or wherever. Home raid. I did ask him about his Tesla, as his car was hit and he never fixed it. He didn't really say what happened. The neighbor claimed that although the singer was polite, he preferred not to make small talk with those living nearby. Anytime I tried to talk to them, they weren't very engaging, the resident added. They kept to themselves. Friends told me they found a girl in a car, but I didn't realize it was her at first. I haven't spoken to the police, but my friend who owns the home has. The owner of David's $3.6 million rental, I'm not going to butcher this name, Madeline, confirmed that his manager signed the lease and has since asked to terminate it and started moving out their belongings. They didn't want to be there anymore because of the ongoing circumstances, he told the Daily Mail. He also claims he didn't know the singer, also told Rolling Stone he was shocked at the police searched the home. He said he was informed about the development by his real estate manager. Until then, I had no idea anything had happened at the house or what was going on with David and the missing girl, he added. The U.S. Sun has reached out to him for further comment. The home was quiet on Wednesday with only an upstairs light on. Photographs show the property has surveillance cameras situated in 2 spots on the outside of the property that could have captured those entering and exiting. However, it is not known if they were active in the weeks leading up to Celeste's death. An image obtained by the U.S. Sun also shows a Ring doorbell camera on the front entrance recently smashed with plastic debris scattered on the ground. So I think that's what is right there. The Ring doorbell was smashed. That's problematic, right? Let me go back down. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles medical examiner has confirmed Celeste's body has been released to her family. Relatives took control of her Instagram account to keep people informed on the case and have raised more than $20,000 on a GoFundMe for her funeral costs. They shared a message last week thanking supporters and saying her funeral will be in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The unknown relative added that they are not able to speak publicly about the situation while the investigation is ongoing. This is where we are in our world today, and it's super sad to know that somebody smashed the Ring doorbell. In my opinion, your thoughts?
This case is so far gone out of the box that it's crazy. I do know that his record label has since then put everything on pause. I think it's problematic that he has a song that's entitled I Killed My Girl Celeste. And those lyrics are creepy to say the least. I think it's crazy that people have went back so far as to when this girl was 11 and she was on her Twitch screen. I think it's problematic that these parents knew that she was dating this man who was grown and she was a kid. I really do think when they charge him, they need to lock up them parents too and charge them as well. Because you're your child first defense.
Come on now, talk about it.
And we all know our kids think they grown, but they know nothing at 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. They don't have the mind capacity. That's the reason why they can't consent. They don't have that capacity. But your parents should have had that capacity. So all while she was running away, they should have found a way to put her behind back in that house and tell her she was going to stay there. And if they couldn't do it, then they should have put her into some kind of little care. They could have found something for her to keep her behind where she would have been safe. I feel like this is a gross negligence on their behalf as well. Like, I really want him to be found guilty for his part in it, but I do want these parents to suffer for their part in it. Because you telling me, oh, I knew she was dating him. Well, sir, ma'am, I know y'all know the law, and she wasn't old enough to consent. So how was she dating him? So yes, I feel like this is where people get the bad rap for parenting, because there are so many bad parents out here that just don't care anymore. They let their kids go by the wayside and they're like, okay, well, I can't keep them because they running away. What happened to training your kids and discipline them? I just feel like this is a gross negligence on their behalf. And then they sat here and raised $20,000 to put in the ground. No, you shouldn't have to ask somebody else to help you bury your own kid. Granted, you don't want them to have to bury your kid, but you should be able to take care of your children yourself. That's all.
I appreciate you. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, if he's innocent, I hope he got good counsel because all roads lead back to him. With all the information they have, I don't know why this man is still doing concerts.
The concerts has ceased. The concerts has ceased.
You or still just out living life. I'm just appalled that he's still out there and they haven't made any arrest on it. I mean, the article said that people had seen them together, so obviously that hadn't been long ago. But he's not making a ruckus about where is she, what happened to her. Obviously, if she hasn't been in contact with him, he would be raising something. But I think his silence is, complicit. Like you said, I think it's a matter of time because no other suspects. Everything leads all the way back to him. That's it.
Thank you. 48, your thoughts?
I still think that I still feel the same way, honestly. I think that it's weird. I think that it's dark listening to some of his lyrics. It just doesn't look good for him. Yeah, no opinion of mine has changed about David.
Yeah. Wanda, thank you. Yeah, you can smash it, but it's still going to get the evidence in the cloud. Yes, thank you for that. Callie, your thoughts?
Oh, that Ring camera. I had my own incident this morning. I'll tell you guys about that later. Similar to this, only thank God everyone is alive for now.
Okay.
But this is the thing with this. David needs to go to jail and probably is going to jail for a very long time. My issue that I'm having with this whole thing, I cannot just throw my common sense out the window. Like attracts like, and I want to know what homeboys he had around him. Who else did he have? Other men did he have coming around this house?
Right.
Because it just is bugging me that someone would go through this much trouble and then leave all the evidence in their own car and parked in front of their own house. It just is not adding up to me. Yes, I understand he could just be a total Looney Tune. I understand that. It's still unclear to me if he was the only person that was staying at the house, or did this manager rent this home and have multiple artists staying there? And this is another thing. The news is reporting a lot of conjecture and things that are not exactly true. David couldn't have broken a lease because he didn't lease this house. His manager leased it. He was staying there. Now, I do know sometimes they will have these houses and they'll have multiple clients or employees living in these homes. So it's still unclear as to whether or not there were other people staying at this house, because this is a 4-bedroom, very large house from what I hear. So I don't know why you would need to rent something like that for a 19-year-old kid, unless maybe that's just what he wanted to spend his money on and the manager was helping him out. It's his money. Who knows? But what I don't want to happen is for everyone to just assume it's him. And because they're getting all of this pressure, the police department already looks bad because everyone's on the mom. But this is the thing, she was reported missing. The LA County Sheriff's Department holds a lot of blame in this as well, especially if she's just out traipsing around Hollywood with this guy. The neighbor's like, oh, I just thought they were a young couple. They were in and out of the house all the time. This is a missing child. What is the sheriff's department doing? This is not, I don't know, these alleged conversations and statements from this alleged brother. I don't know if these things are true or not. I don't even know how old the brother is, if he's an adult, if he's another kid. I don't know where all this information is coming from. But I do know one thing, she was reported missing. Now, some people are saying the brother reported her missing and the mom and the sister didn't care that she was missing because the guy had money. I don't know if any of this stuff is true or what is true or what isn't true. Even this whole thing about her running away repeatedly, a big part of me thinks that this is a story that's been pieced together because there's two separate missing persons posters with two different dates on them. So, because that teacher, I got to be honest, I felt like he was piecing together things and creating a story. I don't feel like she personally was telling him these things, or he personally for sure knew these things to be true. You know what I mean? It's easy to say, well, if she was reported missing here and reported missing there, she must have been running away several times and yada, yada, yada. If she was ran away and was found in Hollywood, who was she with and why weren't they arrested? This is not a 17-year-old. They might have a little leniency with that and say, look, we're just going to take you back to your mom. This is, at that time, would have been a 12-year-old. You going to jail. I don't know what officer on earth would find you with a missing 12-year-old and not arrest you. So something is not right with this, but what I am hearing via TMZ, Harvey Levin himself, who used to work for the DA's office, the police ain't releasing no information. He said tight-lipped, he said, I mean tight-lipped. They ain't releasing nothing. So I think what's starting to happen, people are starting to take bits and pieces of what we do know and making things up for clicks and views. I always go to the fact of police don't just let people go, especially not Black people. And they said he was cooperating, which means that they've been talking to him. And if he's cooperating, that probably also means that he has given his passwords and things like that. So I'm wondering if the reason why he hasn't been arrested is because he has an alibi. It's very possible that maybe she passed away when he was physically not around her. So I have no idea. I'm not trying to absolve him of anything because he still needs to go to jail for kidnapping. And he probably will be arrested. But what I don't want to happen is for there to be some other dude hanging around that really did this, that totally gets away with it. And because we're putting all this pressure on the LAPD, they just put it on David just to get rid of it. That's what I don't want to happen. Whoever did this needs to go to jail for the rest of their life. This is sick. It's hideous and it's disgusting. Again, like I said, I don't know. Obviously don't know David. David could be a complete wackadoo. But it is really bothering me that somebody would go to this length to move a body only to leave it in their own car, abandoned, parked on the street, to be towed away from in front of their house. This car was not abandoned somewhere across town. This car was parked on his street. It wasn't parked directly in front of the house, probably because somebody else was parked there, but it was parked where he lived. It makes no sense, none. And if you didn't care if you got caught, why not just leave her where you unalived her? So that's the thing that's bothering me with this whole thing. I still would like to know who was in and out of that house and who else was around them. Because David is very dark and he probably hung with very dark people. So we'll find out. Hopefully.
I hear you. But I don't think, I don't know. Time will tell. And of course, I don't want nobody going to jail if they're not the one who did it. But I will erase everything, or not erase, but put everything to the side right now about this girl not being alive. at the very least, he was allegedly living with an underage girl, and that is highly problematic to me.
Oh no, he's going to jail. That's why I said I believe he is and should go to jail. What I don't want is that one of his homeboys or somebody did this to her and they get away with it. That's what I don't want.
Yeah,
Whoever was involved needs to be locked up. I don't care if they just move the car.
yeah. So, yeah, and I'm in agreement with that. But again, this is one of those situations where I don't think, because if I live on TMZ, and there's a video where they said he was cooperating, but he stopped. And maybe he stopped because he got a lawyer. And any good lawyer, whether you're innocent or guilty, going to tell you to shut your mouth and let me deal with everything. So initially, in the beginning, he was cooperating, and then he stopped. He is no longer cooperating. So this whole thing is problematic. In the mind solves problems on repeat. And what do I mean by that? Is if you fall down the steps and for the first time, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? But then you find that if you put ice packs on it and blah blah blah, the next time you fall down the steps, you're gonna go get some ice packs, take some Tylenol, because that's what you did previously, and your mind told you when you did that previously, it worked. If you ever go to therapy, and you're going to therapy for some type of trauma, they ask you, have you had any trauma before? What did you do? How did you resolve it? And did it work out? And the first thing they're going to do is tell you to try that again. So why am I saying that? He had a whole video that said he dragged somebody to a car, put them in the trunk, this, that, and the other, in a panic. Because I don't think necessarily that whoever took this girl's life, I don't think that necessarily that was the intention. I think something happened, and then it was a panic. She no longer is alive. She's underage. If I call the cops, this and that. So let me see, how do I just try to get rid of said body? But I don't think it was intentional. But in the back of my mind too, I'm thinking that this girl perhaps was pregnant. But this is a diva thought. This is not anything written in stone in facts. I will stay connected to this story and see. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you, Diva. I'm thinking that she was too. Not for sure, allegedly. And allegedly, I think he has another body out there. I think he did something to somebody else. Um, and he better be glad that he's not in Georgia, because his lyrics that he got in his song, they would be coming for him because of the way he's singing his song, the lyrics in his songs. Because that's how they got Young Thug, with other stuff. But they was going by their music. Remember, they was using their music against them. And he sent up there saying he want to butcher up Celeste. And Celeste, you said, I told you I didn't want a child, I didn't want a baby. The stuff that he's saying is coincided to what I'm not allegedly what happened to this girl. So you talk to when you rapping and you talking to spirits, deaths can hear you, spirits can hear you. So my thing is, I think he did it. I'm sorry to say, God, please forgive me if I'm wrong, but why are you rapping the way that he was done? Or did you watch somebody do this to her and you rapping this way? That's too coincidental, the way they found this child and the way the lyrics in your song. So I hope this girl gets some justice. The parents, yes, of course. There's no way that I'm finna let my 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old be with no 18 and 19-year-old man.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because as we know, remember they said that women mature faster than men, but the men has the age. And I'm quite sure he was just using that girl, and when he got through using her, he threw her away. And I ain't saying she probably was a sacrifice. I know a lot of people don't like hearing about that. Maybe he was sacrificing her. But this is sick on so many levels. And I hope this child gets some justice. Her parents, yes, I would be side-eyeing them too, side-eyeing them too, which we know they said they reported it to the police and they didn't do anything. So, like I said, they have took the discipline from the parents and gave all the authority to the children. But I just hope she gets some justice. And like I said, whatever happened to him happened to him. But if I'm wrong about him, I will apologize. But no, your lyrics is going exactly how you saying that you got rid of this little girl. But that's all I got, Diva.
Yeah, Val, I'm with you too. To dismember the body is dark and gruesome. Dark and gruesome. Now, I do know they use that luminol in the house. I'm guessing nothing came of that. And like they said, the cops are being tight-lipped, but I think they're being tight-lipped because they don't want anything to jeopardize their case and them pulling all of their evidence together. Time will tell. I'm shocked. I thought I would be waking up any morning and at least saying they bringing him in for questioning or something like that. I don't know. This is the craziest, strangest thing ever. And I'm hoping and praying for justice for Celeste. Let's roll into the last story. Diddy's cellmate showed support. Okay, they writing letters saying he taught a class behind bars and judge let the man free. Okay, so he brings joy. Read letters written by Diddy's cellmates as they reveal class disgraced music mogul has been teaching in prison. You know, they kill me with this disgrace, but I'm going to carry on. One described Combs as a focused, positive, God-fearing man. The letters paint him as a positive force inside Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, despite the serious convictions hanging over him. Here go to this person got a nice handwriting. Dear Judge Submaranian, hello, my name is Quentin Davis. I'm a fellow peer of Sean Combs. My personal experience with him has been great. Mr. Combs has showed me and the rest of the inmates here a lot of respect and taught us how to become a better version of ourselves. Mr. Combs started a 6-week class here at MDC where he teaches us business management, entrepreneurship, and life skills. It's a key factor and inside scoop on how Mr. Combs started from nothing and became the icon business mogul he is today. First-hand experience is the corporate in the corporate world and his business ventures. The free game class with Mr. Combs has affected me in a good way and has impacted me because I've learned many things like how to create a successful plan and that the plan has to be realistic. I also learned how to research things better by using AI or ChatGPT. One thing that stuck out to me was that Mr. Combs has taught me, I can't see the rest there, but you get the idea. Okay. It said excellent class. I guess they have to rate the class. Keep up the good work, and the person signed it. Let me see. Is this oh wait, we could go back. Hold on, let me see here. Let's see what else we got here. That's the one letter. That's that. Here's another one. Dear Judge Submaranian, my name is Douglas Welch. I'm 42 years old. I'm from Queens, New York. I've been in MDC Brooklyn 2 years. I've been with Sean Combs for a year. I gotten to know him as a person. He is a focused, positive, God-fearing man. Sean Combs brings love in the unit. I know because since he's been here, all the Spanish and Black inmates cook and pray together, work out together too. Since he started his class, I've been going harder at my health journey. His class is called Free Game with Diddy. The class is what is that? 10? Is it 10 or 15 1 hour long once a week? He gives us a chance to ask him questions. He also let us pick his brain for information about his personal life, his grind, his journey, and his blueprint for his success. He has showed us that it's the little adjustments to our everyday lives that add up to a big change. Some of us are trying to better our health and fight drug addiction. Other people are on a spiritual journey. He has taught me to make a plan and write down my progress each week. Put pride to the side, have no ego, and I have to sacrifice my bad habits to be successful. To Judge Submaranian, I am an inmate incarcerated at MDC Brooklyn. I've been here for 4.5 years to date. since I've been here, I have attained my GED. Besides my GED, I haven't had the chance to participate in any other programs because there aren't any till Mr. Combs' incarceration. And since he's been in the unit with myself and others, I gotten a chance to know Mr. Combs personally. And I can say that I know him as a friend and not a celeb. Maybe he meant to put celebrity. While Mr. Combs been in my unit, I've seen a great change in Mr. Combs. He brings joy and happiness to the atmosphere in the unit. He changes the vibe positively and constructively to each and everyone. Because of Mr. Combs, everybody in the unit is treating and acting positively towards each other. And for many people, that's a step forward and becoming a better person for when they get out of prison. Mr. Combs is changing people's lives. For many in here, that is unthinkable. And we got Mr. Combs to thank for that. Mr. Combs care very much for everyone in here, no matter race or age. And he is making it his business to do his best to make an impact on the lives. And what people don't realize is that he's not asking for anything in return. He's doing this out of the kindness and a chance to give something back to the people who are less fortunate. So listen, the inmates are sticking up for Mr. Combs, okay? The 55-year-old is awaiting sentencing. He's reportedly been running a weekly session called Free Game with Diddy. Inmates said it covers everything from entrepreneurship to health advice, while also giving them a chance to pick his brain about fame and money. Douglas Wells, 42, told Judge Aron Submaranian that Combs brings love into the unit and also claimed the class pushed him to go harder at his health journey. He wrote, Sean Combs brings love into the unit. I know because and I read that to y'all that he did all that, blah, blah, blah. A third prisoner insisted the rapper brings joy and happiness. And I read that one to you. And then we know about the case. This is all kind of repeated stuff, and that his sentencing is coming on October the 3rd. And his lawyers last week filed a 380-page plea asking the judge to impose no more than 14 months. And that means he will be released, shortly after the sentencing. And also, actually, I said 70. Over 100 letters from family and associates were also submitted attempting to portray him as rehabilitated. So it's interesting. The inmates wrote letters too. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Uh, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna try to be really. I'm gonna be as nice as I can. All skin folks ain't kin folks. While I don't want, our people to be locked away behind bars, I just want us to be held accountable for our actions. And far too often, celebrities get away with whatever they do, whether it's the money, it's the fame, whatever, they get away with it. Um, it's cool that all these people want to talk about him now. I ain't see none of them coming in and testifying in the courtroom. When he needed somebody to have his back in the courtroom, they didn't come and testify. Um, and it's cool that he's helping people in the jail. Maybe he should stay there and impact them in the jail some more. I'm not buying all this. I'm sorry. My mind ain't whitewashed and all this. I know his trial was botched and some stuff that they didn't follow the code, but we all know that he's broken the law. Um, and because they didn't get him on the right charges, I don't really care. I feel like he should have been arrested a long time ago. So, as nicely as someone possibly say it is, that when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. He might be getting trapped for something else, but it ain't like he don't deserve it.
Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, your thoughts?
David, pass me on this one.
Okay, 48, your thoughts?
Yeah, I still feel Diddy is a total freakazoid. I still think he needs help. Like, for his drugs or whatever. But I don't think he should
get any more time. It just doesn't make sense.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
I think he should get the same amount of time that anyone else would get with his record for this exact offense, which is less time than what he's already been in jail. This is ridiculous. We see how this country is moving, how they are taking away, trying to take away our rights, trying to change the Constitution, this, and that. I don't really understand why people hate Diddy, a man that most of these people never met, so much that they are championing for the system to be corrupt and operate in a broken way. If I did this, he needs to get the same amount of time that I would get, which is probably released on my own recordings and pay a fine.
Mm-hmm.
And let us mind you, the two supposed victims admitted to doing this same exact crime in court. That's something that a lot of people have not caught. But yet his black behind is the only one in jail. The so-called billionaire. And I think that he is a victim of his own hype. I think that he created this image of him being this powerful businessman. Maybe he's a little bit gangster and all of this stuff. And in actuality, to me, he was just a modern day version of the man on the Uncle Ben's rice package. A lot of this is branding and branding himself. He's like the ultimate influencer who started off as an A&R person. And was given brand deals. Even Bad Boy was not from the ground up built company. It was a deal he had with the parent company for the artist that he brought in as an A&R person. So, and by the way, if he was really stealing money from those people, the forensic accountant would have found it. Maureen McCormick spent a pretty penny to find any crime they could find on this man. And this is all they found. A crime that if the average person did it, they would not be sitting in jail right now. This is crazy. This is corruption. And I think that people need to wake up and get over however much they hate Diddy for whatever reason. I'm not even a huge fan of his. I think he's a fraud. I think he repackaged a lot of music that had already been hits that he didn't even produce, that Stevie J produced and his other team. And I think that it's all just a bunch of marketing and brand deals. I'm surprised he even knows enough about business to even be teaching a damn class. Who knows what he's teaching them people? But I don't believe Diddy's hype. Because his money came from brand deals. It did not come from building businesses. This is the thing. I think that some of it is actually backfiring on him because people cannot process that he's not powerful. He has money that he made off of other people's companies, and he's not powerful. This is not a powerful man. A powerful man would not be sitting in that cell. A powerful man would have never been brought up on these trumped up, ridiculous charges. And I'm sure that these people are telling the truth, that this is the experience that they've had with him. Because we have to be honest, somebody who has been up doing substances for days, got into an argument with the woman that they've been seeing, the woman takes their phone and their clothes, is not going to be the same person that you see on a day-to-day basis. Yes, he was dead wrong for what he did, but you know what? She's also wrong for not reporting him to the police. And I don't believe she's afraid of him. A person who has the type of fear that she's claiming that she has would have never sued him. They would be afraid they would end up in a river with some cement shoes on. So I don't believe first of all, I don't believe she's afraid of him. There's a whole bunch of things that I don't even want to go into that we have seen these little clips on TikTok and stuff that kind of make it look like their relationship was physical on both sides. Also, it wasn't even DV. It was IP because they did not live together. That's another thing. We keep saying DV. We're throwing that term around. That's for two people that are cohabitating in a home together. They didn't live together. All she had to do was change her phone number and stop talking to him. And either way, that's not what he's in jail for. Again, he is in jail for a crime where most people do not serve time. I think they only found what 3 people that have served time, and they've never found a case that was like this, where this is a person that's getting the worker for another person. Like, this has never happened in history. This is ridiculous. They need to let that man out, and people need to get over this.
I hear you. I'm a disagree with, because he's not powerful or he wouldn't be in jail. Or these charges would have never been brought up against him. Trump is very powerful. He got mad charges brought up against him.
Trump is the president. He ain't in jail.
Yeah, well, he's not in jail, but he's still
power.
But he still had many charges brought up against him. As powerful as he is, and with his power, that one woman where they granted her whatever is a exorbitant amount of money in the millions, it was not overturned when she went back to court. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. If I was him, I'd just be there, bide my time, and hopefully, when he go in front of the judge this time, he would let him go home. Now, the people that's applauding him in the jail cell and all that type of stuff, I get it. Any types of letter would help. Like I say, by the time he get back to October the 3rd, maybe they'll say your time well served. Because like we said, if he in jail for that and the other people is walking around, I ain't even seen no inside of a jail cell. Only thing they did was fingerprint and went back home with an ankle bracelet. But this man is in there, and we haven't heard anything about these other cases either. What happened to them? So with the Abercrombie and Fitch man, the brothers, the Tate brothers, we ain't heard nothing about them since they did that thing to Diddy. We heard about, I said, about 1 or 2 times in the news, and that was it. We don't know what's going on with that case. We don't know what's happening with that case. So hopefully, like I said, I never seen Diddy do anything because I don't know the man. He probably wouldn't spit on me if my eyelids was on fire, but I don't know him, so I can't be one sided whatsoever. But what we see is injustice, and hopefully that man will be getting out of them done jail on October the 3rd. But like I said, I think that judge is somebody behind the Wizard of Oz curtain pulling the strings, because this is ridiculous to have somebody in prison. I mean, jail for what he did. It's just crazy. But we'll see what happened with that, Diva. That's all I got.
Yeah. So listen, guys. Interesting was the title. Okay, Diddy cellmate show support by writing letters. He did a class while he was there. Justin Bieber's mom crying out for help.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Girl, I'm coming up here to talk about Mr. Combs. Come on now.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody. Listen.
Good evening.
Okay, this is what's going down.
Mm-hmm.
What's this stylist name? Devontae
Nash.
Yes, Mr. Nash. For those of you who may not know, the stylist filed a lawsuit out there in LA today against Mr. Combs. He said he grinded up against him, pinched on him, pulled on him, did this and did that. I just wanted to remind you all that Mr. Devontae was in the courtroom, and he did take the stand, and he had an opportunity to talk about his experiences, and he went nowhere near as much as he's gone into this lawsuit that he filed today. I also would like to share for those of you who probably do know, but maybe don't remember, when Martha Stewart was found guilty, she was put in the Bedford Correctional Facility for Women. And for the time she was there, she changed people's lives. She went in there and she did a lot of good work with those women, and she did it after she was released as well. So I'm not surprised to hear more of what is going on with Mr. Combs inside of this jail. I do happen to know that he has had everybody's commissary up to the max, that these men who have been locked up without any means of resources or communication, and I don't know what they did or didn't do, but he's had money on their commissary, so they're eating well and they're sleeping well and they're having opportunities to try to figure out what they want to do next. I don't know if you all know that Metropolitan Detention Center is one of the worst in the country, and it's not a place for anyone to really be in. But they have these well-known alleged criminals in there, and so it's not without resources, but it's difficult to get good product in there. And I'm not talking about the substances. I too hope and I pray that it is a righteous October 3rd. Thank you, Callie, for bringing out all those facts. Anyone else who has been charged with something like this gets a fine. They pay the fine and they choose whether or not they want to do it again tomorrow. This egregious act against Mr. Combs is an egregious act against all people. And the misuse of the justice system is a misuse against all the people. And we need it to end. And so, yeah, folks need to get over their feelings. If he happened to have worked with you and he didn't pay you, go get your money when he get out. But let him have his freedom to decide how he wants to live the rest of his life. Thank you, Diva. And I look forward to you bringing up Devontae's lawsuit with all of the bumping and the grinding. He will do anything for his friend Cassie Ventura. So much so he's willing to come back and say he's a victim, even though Maureen Comey said he was smoking so much weed up in there, she couldn't even depose him for 2 hours straight. He was always outside the courtroom smoking that weed. So thank you, Diva. I'm done.
I appreciate it. Listen, it's a lot, but you know what? Yeah, that judge don't like Diddy. But you know what? It shows something too, that the cellmates was willing to, write these letters, write these notes. We're gonna see how this judge handled it. What are we at? Like 9 days out from the 3rd? Something like that. We shall see. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva a favor. Hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.